Hello lovelies, Lesley. Not quite enough light control because we've got lovely sunny weather here. So I'm apologising if it's throwing the light out a bit, but I'm not apologising for being here in sunny weather. Hope everyone's okay. Thank you for all your comments and encouragement last week. We did the boot fair. It was very civilised. For those of you who've done boot fairs before, and by done them I mean been sellers at boot fairs, they start at 6 o'clock on a Sunday morning, and as soon as you arrive in your allotted space and open up your car, you suddenly get all these people, the kind of professional buyers, in like nobody's business, and it's very invasive of your personal space, because they're going through your boxes, you haven't unpacked, you haven't even got your table out that you're going to put stuff on, and they are there searching for stuff, and it's not a pleasant experience. And one or two have nearly got an elbow from me in the past, because you just feel very under attack, and it's a bit claustrophobic and not pleasant. The guys who run the boot fair that we did at the weekend are aware of this, and they just made it incredibly civilised. So we could get there from 7:30 in the morning. Well, I think it was probably about 7:45 when we got there, and there were rows of cars in the field, and we were row 13, so it was pretty busy. And what they actually started doing was doubling up some of the rows, but even that they did in a civilised way. So we were cars next to it, you sort of park in a row, and you would put out your stuff on the passenger side of your car. Where they were doubling up, rather than having people then putting out stuff on the driver's side of their car and making the gap in between the lines that much smaller, they sort of put the cars every other space, and those folks set out their for sale items behind their car. So it still kept a fairly decent width between one line of cars and the next. So there's plenty of room for people to move about. We couldn't start unpacking anything until 8:30. I'm not entirely sure why they have that rule, but they do. So you get your space, you park, and then you wait until 8:30. And they've got somewhere where you can go and get a drink and something to eat. There are loos and things like that. So it's all very civilised. And the people buying aren't allowed in till 9:30. So you have an hour from 8:30 to 9:30 to set out everything you want, to get all your stuff out your car, to secure things in your car that, you know, things like your purse or your handbag or whatever, without people kind of reaching in over you to get at your stuff before you get a chance to. So it was very, very civilised, very well attended. There were people queuing at the gates to get in and start buying. You can never tell what's gonna sell at these things. Things that you think are going to go because you think, oh, that's a nice item. No, other things you kind of take on the off chance, think, well, someone might want it, and it's the first thing you sell. So there are people who do this every week. They either sell every week, it's kind of partly how they make their income, or there are people who buy every week because they like to have a rummage around and get a bargain. I don't think I'll ever be one of those people. And in fact, my eldest sister, she wasn't sure if she'd be able to be with us, but she was. Brother-in-law dropped her off and she joined us. She'd never, I don't know if she'd ever even been to a boot fair. She'd certainly never sold at one before. But she stayed for the whole time, because we kept saying to her, you know, at any time, if you've really had enough, give brother-in-law a call and he'll come and get you, and, you know, don't feel you've got to stay. Because there were two of us. We had 2 cars worth of stuff, but there were 2 of us, and it was okay. But no, she stayed the whole time, so that was fine. Yes, so interesting experience. We took 2 cars worth of stuff. We had sort of 1 car's worth of stuff when we left. Middle sister is going to do another boot fair close to where she lives. She took all the stuff home to have a kind of second pass at it. I've said, depending on the dates, I will go and stay with her the night before and go and do it with her if she wants to. So yeah, so there may be another one. I mean, if you do 2 and you still don't sell stuff, you kind of have to make a decision by that point as to what you're going to do with what's left. But yes, it was fun. It was a beautiful day. I'll put footage here of kind of the field, the tops of people's cars. But it was a beautiful sunny day. Had my hat on, had my sun cream, had plenty to drink, because it was lovely weather, and just the sort of weather that would normally give me a massive headache because I'd get dehydrated. But thanks to finally being a grown-up, managed to stay well, which is good. So then middle sister Bev and I came back to here because the M25, which is the London Orbital motorway, was closed at the junction that Bev would be using. So rather than go that way home, which would be quicker, she came to here, himself cooked us something for dinner, which was lovely, and then Bev went on home from here. So yeah, it was a good weekend. Yeah, so I went up on Friday, and we basically spent the day kind of packing up cars and packing up boxes and labelling stuff. Evenings I was knitting. So very civilised. Yeah, it was good. Since then, work. It's now Wednesday as I'm recording this. So I've had either visits or ceremonies every day. But keeping busy, keeping out of mischief, almost. And yeah, plodding on. So I shall catch up with you later in the week. Cheers. Hello, lovelies. Well, we've got bright light again now. This morning the rain was coming down in stair rods. It was absolutely teeming down. But anyway, we're fine. Hope you are too. I forgot to say last week that himself had bought me some yarn. Well, there was a lot going on last week with water shortages and drumming and all of that. But himself was in Lancashire, and he saw a couple of yarn shops where they were. One wasn't open when he was able to go there, and he said he was disappointed in that because it looks as if they had some hand dyed and that sort of thing. But I'm grateful for whatever he brings back, as we know. So this is all by Yarn Art, and this first one is a fabulous purple. It's a 50% merino, 50% acrylic. It's their Merino Deluxe 50. And it's a very nice colour. And this may possibly go in with one of my hand-dyed projects. It's the right, hand-spun projects. It's the right colour. I don't know if it will work the way that I think it might, but we'll see. So there may already be a possible use for this. He also bought me a couple of balls of yarn. Now they're both 100% acrylic, and they are incredibly soft. They feel like bamboo. You know, there are some brands of yarn that do acrylic, which they call their soft brand, or their, you know, something of that nature. And this is one of them. So this is Yarn Art Adore Dream Anti-Pilling. 100% acrylic, anti-pilling acrylic. And this is in colourway 1075. But he also got me a ball of it in colourway 1061. They won't necessarily go in the same project, although, you know, they might. But a couple of very nice colourways there. And just so soft. Like I say, it feels like bamboo. It feels like it would be quite drapey. Really nice squish. So yes, himself bought me yarn, bless him. This week, mostly it was kind of around last weekend in terms of activity that wasn't work related. And then this weekend is going to be sorting out my house, because I brought back stuff that needs sorting out and just tidying up. It's all a bit chaotic in here, even more so than usual. So that's the plan for this week. Also this weekend it's the Zoom call hosted by Barbara of the Flame and Fibre podcast, with IT provided kindly by Valerie of the A Visit with Nana and Papa podcast, and it's 2 o'clock Eastern time. In Europe, in the UK it's about 7 o'clock in the evening, which means it'd be 8 o'clock mainland Europe. Obviously you can work out the time wherever you are, but if you want to take part, and it's a lovely group of people, a lot of fun. We talk about knitting, we talk about loads of stuff, you know, it's just good fun. If you go on to Ravelry, onto the Flame and Fibre group on Ravelry, there's a sticked thread at the top with the details of how to join the Zoom call, so you would be very welcome. I know I'm very good at inviting people to other folks' parties, but I know Barbara is always saying, you know, people are all welcome, so you'd be very welcome to join us, and I look forward to seeing the lovely folks there. So apart from that, yeah, that's kind of it, I think, for this week. Plodding on with work, avoiding rain when it is raining, and making the most of the sunshine when it's here, and just same old. But hope everyone's well, hope everyone's having fun, and see you all again soon. Thanks everyone, take care, bye bye.